So my question to you today is, are you monetizing your message? Your message is your money. I mentioned that yesterday because it's your message. It's like a sign in the road and your people are out there driving around looking for you, just like you were on a trip and you wanted coffee. You're going to be looking for that Starbucks sign. So your message is like that sign out there in the highways and the byways of life. And your people see that and they're drawn to you, so that then, they hire you, they work with you. So you're monetizing your message by putting it out there. And you are your message. I mentioned that as well. Being authentic and being real and being yourself. So I know for me, when I first started as a coach, I really struggled with thinking of asking for money, selling my services. It felt like, oh, yucky and slimy and salesy. And I almost felt guilty for charging people to help them and to get into coaching sessions with them, because I felt like, oh, I'm just talking to them, or I'm just doing this or doing that, and I'm listening to them. And why should I charge for that? Like, how can I charge for that? But then I began to realize over time the power of what I was bringing, that it was changing lives. It wasn't just that I was talking to them. I was bringing my skills, my knowledge, my experience as a coach that I had invested in for myself to become a coach. And that's a different skill set than just having a conversation. I was using my skill set and I was bringing transformation for them. And if I didn't ask them for money, I'm actually depriving them of the power of investing in yourself. Because when people invest in themselves, they're going to put more of themselves into it. They're going to make sure they show up. They're going to do the work. And if they do the work, then they're going to see the change in their life. But if they don't have anything invested in it, or very much, then it's just human nature. We don't show up as much. We kind of blow it off like, oh, well, I don't really need to do that. I didn't pay anything for it. And when people are not showing up and doing the work and invested in it, then they're not going to get the results. So in order to bring results for the clients that you work with, in order to bring the transformation that you really want to bring to people, you've got to actually monetize your message. You have to ask for money. You have to charge for you, first of all, to have a business. And if you don't have money coming into your business, then you can't spend the time and energy helping people. So the more that you are secure financially with your business, the more that you have to give to help people find that transformation. And it's just like a doctor charges money for all of his wisdom and knowledge and skill, right? And people don't think twice about paying the doctor. I mean, sometimes we might complain about how much we're paying, but we're paying. And we value the expertise. We know we need it. So as a coach or a consultant or an author or a speaker, whatever it is you're doing in the world, it's worth something because you are bringing something of value to change their lives. And your people are looking for that. It's what they need and want. And so that's what you're offering. And the more that you can build your business and have it be successful, the more that you are able to give of yourself in order to bring that transformation. So again, the question is, are you monetizing your message? Many entrepreneurs want to get their message out in front of more of their ideal clients, but they struggle because, and I'm sure you could probably list some reasons because you've probably had these common struggles, right? Because they don't have a plan or system. This was my problem for a long time. I just kind of was flying by the seat of my pants and doing what I could do on my own. Once I graduated from coach training, had my certification, I had invested a lot of money into my training. And I didn't have any more to invest in business building programs. So I had to try to figure it out on my own. And I didn't have a plan or a system. And I floundered for a while. I did okay. I would attract clients and do okay for a while. And then I would be like stalled out for a while. And then, a few more clients would come. And so I was kind of stumbling along for the first few years. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a system. And I didn't have step-by-step guidance as far as the business building of it went, and how do I get my message out there, the marketing part of it. How do I attract new clients? How do I create a flow, an automated flow so that I'm not having to do everything by hand all the time? How do I start a group program and get people to actually show up? All these questions. I needed help and I was floundering. Another problem is they don't have accountability. So when you're out there trying to do it by yourself, which many entrepreneurs do, and you don't have accountability, then you don't have anybody following up with you and saying, hey, did you do what you said you were going to do? How did that work out? What got in the way? What goal are you going to set for yourself this week? Accountability is extremely powerful for us human beings. When we have accountability, we are much more likely to actually get stuff done. When I don't have anybody that I'm accountable to, I can procrastinate from here until, forever, really. I'm so good at procrastinating. But when I have accountability and I know I'm going to be checking in with my accountability group on Tuesday at 11, oh, well, what did I do this week? Did I follow up? Did I fulfill my goals? If not, why not? And what are my goals this week that I'm going to share with them? And we hold each other accountable. It helps keep us on track. It helps keep us moving our train down the track. It helps us stay in action. So this is why most entrepreneurs are not building their business. Their business isn't growing. They're maybe attracting a few clients, but they don't have that momentum to keep it flowing and to be able to go for, like I did, a month to 6 weeks without really doing anything in their business because something major happened, And so setting yourself up for success, you need to have a plan, a system, step-by-step guidance. You need mentors, like Susan was talking about. You need to have accountability. The other thing is support. Somebody who will say to you, you can do this. I see it in you. I see the potential in you. I see the gifts in you. Oh my gosh, you can do it. Having that cheerleader and the support for somebody to say, here's how you can do it. Here's how this works. Do this, do that, do this, do that. Showing you technology or giving you templates and things to follow, giving you feedback on what you're doing. That is so huge. And I did not have it for the first, I'd say, probably 5 years. I did have one coach early on, and he helped me a lot with how to have conversations with potential clients and attracting them and sort of keeping up with them. And it really helped a lot. That was just one layer. And I got to this place a couple of years ago where I realized I was stalled out. My business was not growing, and I had to get honest with myself and real with myself. And I remember just sitting here in my room down here is where I work, sitting in my recliner over there and feeling just disappointed, feeling discontented, feeling all the discouragement that comes with being stalled out. And I just hit a wall, and my email list was not growing. It had been at the same level for years, probably a couple of years. It wasn't growing at all. I didn't have any new ideas. And I just felt disillusioned. Disillusionment and disappointment just sort of sat in my gut like a weight. And I just sat there and thought, what am I going to do? I've been trying this for 5 years. My husband is starting to ask me, like, what is this, a hobby? I mean, you got to get some money rolling in here, And I was working so hard to get that next client. And it was just wearing me out, literally. And so I sat there feeling like just lodged, frozen in place. And I was at a place where, I really don't want to go back to work, because by then I was like 65, I don't want to go back to work. I want to run my business. I love what I'm doing. I believe in what I'm doing. I know it's powerful. I've helped a lot of people. What am I going to do? I don't understand how to set up a funnel. I don't understand how to get these systems in place. I don't know how to create a course that will attract people. I don't know how to do all of this. This was just a few years ago. I had been working on my speaking skills. I was getting out there. I had my podcast going, but I was still really struggling. I hired a consultant a business consultant around this time and paid her $5,000. And I had begun to work with her. She was helping me some, but it still wasn't enough. And I felt like, oh my gosh, I think I just wasted $5,000. I don't have that to waste. And I was so discouraged. But I knew that I wasn't going to give up. There wasn't anything else I wanted to do in life. So I had to figure this out. And I happened to get an email, I think, one day for this event. And it was all about networking and partnering with other people, learning how to find joint venture partners to promote you. And I thought, well, that sounds interesting. I'd heard about that before. And, I'd tried ads on Facebook and social media, and they never went anywhere. They never did me any good. So I thought, well, this looks interesting. Let me just go to this event. And so I did. And I'm listening to the host of the event as he's telling his stories, which were so compelling. It's so moving. And I began to see this integrity of this man, and even the people in the room that knew him were talking about how much integrity he walked in and how much he had helped them. And I was learning a whole bunch from the event itself, meeting other people, but I began to realize I am not in a place where I can work with a JV partner, because to work with a JV partner, you have to be what they call JV ready. You have to have something for them to promote. And I had tried webinars, I had tried courses, but they didn't really go anywhere. So I knew in that moment I needed help. I was at a place where, yes, I had just invested $5,000, but it wasn't giving me what I really needed. And this man was offering exactly what I needed in his program. They were going to do a funnel for me, create all that for me, and show me how to do the technology there behind all of that. They were going to help me build a course and know how to create a webinar where I actually could sell my course. They were going to teach me how to work with JV partners and how to have everything in place so that your business has this engine behind it. And I'm sitting there listening, going, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I need. It's everything I've been looking for all in one place. But it was $10,000. What? $10,000? And I'm sitting there thinking, I just spent $5,000. How could I spend another $10,000? But I sat there praying about it for a few days, and what came to me was a scripture about sowing seeds. And in that verse, it's talking about how he multiplies your seed for sowing. Like you sow your seed in the ground. If you're a gardener, you know what that's like. You plant a seed in the ground, and you water it, and you weed it, and you nourish the soil, and before long, it starts sprouting. And you start to see the fruit, right, of your labor. But in the scripture, it's talking about multiplying the seed for sowing. And as I sat with that, and I was like, I know I have something of value to offer. I know that it transforms lives. I just need my seeds that I'm sowing to multiply. And if I sow this seed, if I take the little bit I have and I invest it into a program where I get accountability, where I have a step-by-step system, where I have the support and the community around me, then maybe my seed can be multiplied, and who I am able to reach will expand beyond what I can do by myself. So I took a chance, and it was scary. Let me tell you, I am not the kind of person that can just spend a lot of money, and I've always struggled with having that scarcity mindset, and I was working on having an abundance mindset. And looking at this verse really helped me. I was like, yes, you grow by sowing seeds. You grow by putting into your business what you have, so that into something that will help you grow, not just anything, but into a program where you will be able to not only make your money back, but grow. So I took a chance. I didn't have all the money, signed up for their payment plan. And right after I did that, I was so scared that I wasn't going to be able to make these payments. Oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? But his team is so wonderful, and they worked with me, and I began to do what he was teaching. I put it into action, his system, his steps, with the accountability and with the support. And I began to see success. And my course began to make some money. And I was able to, as I did everything I was taught, I was able to actually start bringing in an income that actually paid my way through that whole program. And here I am now 2 years later, and my business has grown tremendously. My list went from, I think I had 900 on my list to now it's 6,000. The number of podcasts and interviews and summits I've been on it's over 100. My income, like I was telling you earlier this morning, when I had to take time off, kept coming in. And it's just amazing. So even though it was scary and it was a huge investment, it has been paying back. And now I've paid all that off. And now I've got this structure in place and a business that's growing. It will continue to pay off. And now I can share what I've learned with my people in my own way. I don't share exactly, his program, but I share what I've learned and how I've taken what I've learned with speaking and storytelling and, putting myself out there in front of my audience. And then what do I do with them when they start coming to me? And so out of that has grown this program called Monetize Your Message. It's fairly new. It hasn't even been in existence for a year yet. But by the end of this session, I'm going to invite you to join the Monetize Your Message Mastermind, or there's also a mentorship program. It's a dynamic and unique step-by-step system that helps you create more visibility for your brand, which is key. If people don't know you're there, they won't find you and you can't make money. So through speaking, through storytelling, and also beyond that, in conversations with people one-on-one, how do you have the sales conversations? How do you set up your email system and begin to nurture your audience? How do you create a lead magnet? All that stuff. Because you need to establish a strong foundation from which your business can thrive. So it really focuses on that part of your messaging, your speaking, your storytelling, getting on stages, beginning to attract those people to you. And then once they are coming into your world, now what do we do with them? And we want to make sure that your business is in alignment all the way through, because that's the ticket. That was the key. I didn't have that. I didn't have alignment. I was trying this and trying that and trying this and trying that and seeing what would stick. And there was no cohesiveness to it. I didn't have a clear vision. I didn't have clarity on what I was trying to do. And as I began to have that clarity and I began to understand my audience and what really brought me life and passion in helping them. And so this began to come into place. So I already talked about the wall I hit in my business. So you monetize your message by message mastery. These are the pillars of my program. Really having a clear, concise, compelling message that speaks to your audience, to the heart, to the emotional piece too. That is so important. So we really work hard on that. Speaking mastery, becoming skilled and confident as a speaker and a storyteller so that you can get booked on stages and become more visible and do those videos and find your clients wherever they are and speak to them, large numbers of them, so that you can attract more people to you. Establish your authority as the expert that you already are. And selling mastery, converting those leads into paying clients through a proven system that grows your audience, nurtures those relationships, because it's about relationships. It's about giving them what they want and need, right? As Michael said yesterday. It's about inviting them to share with you, to grow with you, creating community and producing streams of revenue for your business so that when stuff happens, your business doesn't fall away. You continue to see the revenue coming in, right? And that's a foundation. It's a structure. It provides stability for you and your family. And then you can give more of yourself to your clients. So in Message Mastery, we identify a core message. We connect your message with your target audience, your target market, your people, and we start crafting your messages and stories. We work on a lot of what we're doing here this weekend, fine-tuning the words, making the words, really say what you want them to say, and making sure that you're speaking to the right people through your message. So I want to tell you a little story about Maggie. she came to me, actually, she came to me because of a speech I gave. I was one of the speakers at a women's event, and it was the first time that I told my story in person on a live stage after I had learned the storytelling techniques that I'm teaching you all. And she became one of my students. She is a photographer, and her message is about helping women feel comfortable and confident in front of a camera, older women especially. So she needed to get really clear about who she wanted to attract. She did not want to attract everybody for any kind of photography. She needed to get clear and narrow down around her special niche in the world, what was going to go on her sign in the road. Who did she want to attract? She has such a heart for older women who are serving their families and kind of in the background and don't want to get in pictures because they feel self-conscious. And she tells a story of a woman that she did take pictures for her. And she realized this before the woman came to her, she realized that this woman had like no pictures of herself. All the family pictures, she wasn't there. She wasn't present in pictures because she didn't feel confident. She was, hiding out and didn't feel like, she felt self-conscious about herself. And so Maggie was like, no, you've got to be in pictures because your family, when you move on and pass away one day, your family's going to want to have these pictures of you. Like you've got to exist in photographs. And so she got this woman into her studio and took beautiful pictures of her. And she has this natural talent of helping women feel comfortable and at ease. And so the woman had these wonderful pictures. Sadly, I think it was 6 months or so later, or maybe it was a year later, this woman became ill and actually passed away. But her family had these pictures of her. And when that happened, Maggie realized the magnitude of what she was bringing to her audience. And so she tells that story as part of her magnetic message to help women realize how important they are. And that even though this is a sad story, the point is you never know, right? And if you don't exist in photos, your family won't have you. There's no record of you, and you are worth it. And so she really helps women see the importance of it and also to feel comfortable in front of a camera. So we worked with Maggie to create her message, and her confidence grew. She began to share that. She began to attract the right clients into her business. So then in the speaking mastery, like I said, we developed speaking skills. So we'll be working on some of those tomorrow. There's a lot to speaking. There's a lot of techniques and skills that you can learn. It's a skill that you practice and learn. And I remember a few years ago when I decided, I really do need to do more speaking to attract more clients so that it's not just based on one-on-one, but I'm in front of a large group of my audience. But I need to learn how to do this. So what am I going to do? So I began to look for courses and read books and took some online courses. I went to some conferences and I began to work on my skills. I joined a speaking club. I actually started my own club and worked on it, and I learned how. And those skills grow with practice and with time, but also with guidance and learning from other people. And I began to build this own the room confidence. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow, but the confidence to own the room instead of being afraid or nervous to get up in front of people, but to build an own the room confidence where you have something powerful to share and you're bringing a gift and you walk out there and own that room. And when you do that, people feel that confidence in you and they are drawn to you because you're confident and what you've got is valuable. When you're not confident in what you have, then people listening to you are not going to be confident in what you have. So confidence is all through this. Your confidence grows as you build your skills and as you get the support you need and the feedback. Designing your signature talk. How do you put together a talk, like say 30 minutes, 45 minutes to share some content like I've been doing this weekend? or on a webinar or in a workshop or in person? How do you put together a talk so that people are engaged with you and follow along a path that you designed for them? And then how do you get yourself booked on stages? So these are all the things we work on in my program. And then Allie. So I mentioned Allie earlier yesterday. She was one of my clients who came to me to actually work on leadership skills and confidence around her business, running her business and managing her time and her stress. But through that process, she began to realize that she was really drawn to start writing out her trauma story, because we had begun to open up some things inside of her as I was working with her one-on-one. And she said, you know what, Janelle, I've been writing in a journal all about this trauma from my 20s that I didn't ever tell anyone. And I'm writing it down just to release it, to bring healing. But you know what? I think I want to put this into a book. And I think I'm really being called to speak about this issue. And so we began to work on that with her, putting together, she got her message out on paper. She began to put it together into a book form, and her confidence to do it grew as I was working with her. And even just taking that step, like Susan was talking about, owning it and really believing in herself. And so she put this book together. It was published this past year. It's a beautiful book, powerful book. And the next thing you know, she's popping up in bookstores doing book talks and on stages all over the place, talking and speaking. And I'm like, wow, go Allie. Who knew when I first started working with her? But she began to blossom, and it just came out of her. And so often you have so much in you that you don't even know is in you, and you're trying to build a business, but you don't realize at first that speaking, storytelling, getting your message out there, putting it out there in a book, in a powerful way, can help your business grow as well. And sometimes you just need help. You need that support to say, hey, you can do this. Let's work on it together. Let's give you feedback. Let's get this thing going. So the next thing, getting booked on stages, the speaking part of this, how do you get out there on podcasts and summits? And so a lot of what we do in my program is we work on how to do that. I help my mastermind students, members, to put together their podcast interview questions and figure out what topic they want to talk about. What are several topics? And then how do you find those podcasts that would be good ones for you to go on? And then how do you pitch yourself to the host so that they'll invite you onto their podcast? And even following up on that, how do you get from the podcast, how do you get leads coming to you through that interview? So a lead magnet, a free offer, so that the people listening to the podcast sign up on your email list, and you can start to engage with them and nurture those relationships. So there's a whole lot to this, right? And how do you take that podcast and share it out there so that people get to know you and get to know your story? How do you speak into a camera on a podcast? How do you, situate yourself with your equipment? And there's so much to it. So that's what we do. We talk about how to get on podcasts and summits. And if you really want to get on in-person stages, the world is opening back up to that now. How do you put together your signature talk? We have a whole special intensive workshop just on creating your signature talk. We have another one on podcast guesting, becoming an awesome podcast guest. So when you're on a podcast, you get all kinds of free publicity out there. This is just an example of the types of podcasts. There's all kinds of different ones. This was she called it a radio show or a show. And so I got to be on Sally Curtis's show. And there's all kinds of different shows out there. I can talk on just about any topic or on any stage, because the topic of conquering imposter within, or building confidence, or speaking with confidence, can apply to a lot of different audiences. And so you get a nice graphic, you can share it with your audience. You just start to be seen. Remember I talked about the sign in the road? When you get on podcasts, they promote you to their audience. You're getting on their stage, you're getting in front of their people, and you can share this too out on social media, with your own people. You begin to put your sign in the road, and podcast episodes live forever. So somebody might hear that a year from now and want to get in touch with you. That's the beauty of being on podcasts, and they're out there forever. You could still be speaking to your ideal audience a year from now from that one interview. And I'm at the place now, I've got over 100 of them out there. I count them, I keep track of them. So that's a lot of visibility. It's growing, and the more that you're on, the more you get invited on to more. They're usually pre-recorded. Sometimes they're live. And the disadvantages for this is that you're only promoted by the host and you, but it stays out there forever. Summits, you can also speak on. It's very similar how you get ready, what kinds of topics you talk about, getting all your stuff together, like your bio, your intro, your headshot, all that stuff they ask for is pretty much the same. And a summit, it lasts for a couple weeks usually, and you're one of many speakers. So it'll roll out over a week or two. Sometimes they're live, sometimes they're pre-recorded. But the beauty of a summit is that all the speakers are promoting. So most summits have anywhere between 20 to 40 speakers, and all these speakers are promoting to their audiences. So you're getting promoted to all of their audiences as well as your own. So there's this ability to be seen by even more people. They don't live forever because usually the host makes it available for a certain period of time, and then they go away. Sometimes they'll offer a VIP ticket, and those people get all the recordings and can keep them. So it's a little bit more short-lived, but it is a great list builder because you're getting out in front of a lot of people in a short amount of time. And so people will see, oh, I want to go listen to her talk. And then you get to offer a freebie. And a lot of times the summit hosts will keep all the links for people's free offers on their website. So people, even if they don't hear your interview, they could still opt into your list by grabbing your freebie. And they're usually the same as summits, very interview and conversational style, but sometimes they can be presentation style. I've done both. Presentation style would be you speaking the whole time, and you might bring a PowerPoint presentation, and that's a different preparation than an interview preparation. But I help you with all of this. And you can take one topic and have it be interview style and change it around a little bit and have it be presentation style. There are other kinds of stages too. This is an example of when I promoted my book was published, and at my launch party, a woman showed up who was on my email list, Eileen, and she invited me and my publisher to come to her Facebook Live group, do a Facebook Live inside of her Facebook group, which she advertised to her audience. And then we came in and streamed in live and did a great little interview. So that's another way where, I got to talk about my book and got in front of another group of people that were somebody else's audience. So you could be featured on a Facebook Live or some other live within somebody else's group, Clubhouse. I know Bella was talking about that. Virtual meetup groups, EIN is an example of one that I did in Entrepreneurs International Network. This is a virtual meetup, so people are a member and they come every Tuesday to listen to a speaker, and it goes on YouTube and lives on YouTube. And you can continue to be seen and heard out there. Those are great to do. Networking groups, I've spoken at networking groups in person. ABWA is American Business Women Association, WPN, Women's Prosperity Network. The ABWA was in person, WPN was online, but there's these networking groups and these membership type groups that are out there that often you'll get a chance to come and talk. Of course, conferences. I spoke at the WEX conference, Women's Expo online. I've spoken at the one in person I was telling you about. I have several in person before COVID, but not too many since yet. Business meetings, staff retreats, professional development meetings. There are all kinds of places. Civic groups. I've gone to the Kiwanis Club or Lions Club. I forget which one it was, but they're always looking for speakers. So there's all kinds of places, book clubs, right? All kinds of places out there to bring your message and to get yourself in front of your audience. So that's what I help people do in my mastermind. And then you've got to have something to sell. So we work on that. What would be your course or your program or your product that would be in alignment with who you're attracting? How do you set up a system, an automation system, an automated system? How do you build that community around yourself and nurture those relationships and keep them engaged with you? And then having those sales conversations, which takes confidence, being able to invite them into your program without feeling salesy. So all of this and more is in the Monetize Your Message Mastermind. So I'm just going to go through right now just the features of it so you can see how this works, how I bring those 3 pillars in. It's a 6-month program when you first sign up, but it goes, you can stay in for an entire year. And then beyond that, there will be a membership option to stay involved in the community and still have access to everything. But the first commitment is 6 months, and we really go heavy on the speaking, on the message mastery, and working on your lead magnet and things like that. So we'll work with you to create a customized strategy and plan that fits your unique needs and situations. We regularly review this roadmap and see where you are kind of in this, in those 3 pillars, and make sure that you are hitting all those areas and doing what you need to be doing, right? So everybody's kind of at a different place. That has a value, just having the roadmap, of $497. These values mean if you were to buy this by itself, that's what people would charge. Group mentoring sessions. Now, this is the meat of the program. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where everything happens. This is the most important part, because this is where relationships are built. This is where the mentoring happens. This is where sharing, accountability, support, very important and powerful part of the program. We've been building relationships. It's a small group right now, but they're fantastic powerhouse women, and it's amazing what they are creating. So we have 12 group sessions during the 6 months. It's twice a month. We meet the 2nd and 4th Monday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern time, 2 hours each. And that has a value of $29.97, because if you were to sell this by itself as a course, a group mentoring course, that's what people charge. Then on top of that, I add in Speak Up Labs, because I know how important it is to practice and get feedback. You hear me say that all the time. Practice your speaking skills, your storytelling skills, share your message, get feedback, share your story, share your ideas. So we sharpen speaking skills, we get valuable feedback, and it helps to increase your confidence. We do those 2 times a month. They are optional. You can come in whenever you want, stay as long as you want, stay for the whole time. And those are really great times together. That could go by itself for $1,500. If you join or you were to hire a speaking coach or join a group where they teach you and help you to speak. So then we have office hours also. So lots of support in this program. You have the twice a month meetings, you have the Speak Up Labs, and you have office hours every week, live on Zoom at noon. You can come in anytime you need extra help with something, or you have a specific question. It's not required, it's optional, but they're awesome. A lot of times it's just 1 or 2 people in the room, and we have a great time, and you can go deep with your questions. And then that's got a value of $997 also. That's like working with a coach. And then monthly, I do a tech training. So for me, it was really important to learn the behind the scenes. How do you do all this technology? How do you work with ClickFunnels and create lead pages? I didn't know that. How do you work with like ThriveCart and hook your JVs up and collect money? And how do you get your email funnels together and all that, right? So I know a lot of women, and especially that I've worked with, who technology is a huge bear for them. So I try to show you behind the scenes, step by step, this is what you can do. So there's 6 of them in the 6-month program. I do them once a month, and I record them, and you have access to the recording. You can come live or just watch the recording later. And I teach on the platforms that I use because I know them, but I also can answer questions about other things that you're trying to do. So that has a value of like at least $1,000, because if you were to work with somebody to teach you that stuff, and this was one of my frustrations, was I couldn't find people to help me with this stuff, you know? So I wanted to offer that, what I know I can offer. And just looking at my notes. And then the next feature here is private support group on Facebook, where you can come in there and again, ask questions, get support. You can try out your videos and get feedback on your messaging or your speaking. You can go in there and say, hey, I just got invited to speak on a podcast, and we'll celebrate with you. Like, it's a community place to build community as well. And then I give you lots of handouts, lots of templates, workbooks, blueprints, scripts, every time. And I'm always continually creating stuff. And so I give you access to it. I send it to you. You have a Google folder where you can go and get all this stuff, and I'll send it to you in an email. And I just give you everything I've got. This program, the people in this program are getting everything I have, basically, because they're my people. So then we have 2 special sessions. The podcast guest speaker training is one day. It ends up being a one day, but we break it up actually into separate sections so that you can have time to work on the material. But it's designed to prepare you to be a much requested guest speaker on podcasts and summits. Plus, you get a guest spot on my podcast. And we work on coming up with your topic, your bio, your intro, your list of questions. How do you pitch to a podcast host? Where do you find them? And we actually do a lot of this work in our Monday night classes as well. But there's an intensive training where we put all that together. And then the Signature Talk Intensive is a weekend event. It's an exclusive 3-day intensive workshop. The next one's going to be in January. We work on your signature talk from start to finish, and it's a lot of fun. We work a little bit, we map it all out, figure out what your topic is, what are your key points, what are the stories you want to tell, how are you going to transition your speaking skills. We put it all together and we go work on it and come back and share a piece of it, and then we go back and work some more and come back. So it's a really fun weekend where you are doing, it's an implementation type of event where you actually have a talk at the end that you can use. So the total program value of all of this, if I was to add all that value, it comes to $12,500. Of course, I'm not charging that, but I'm also giving you a bonus, a couple of bonuses here. As a Mastermind member, you have access to my Speak Confidently to Sell course, which is a 6-week course I run 3 times a year. And it's really focused on that magnetic message. And so you have access to that. That course is worth $1,500. I don't charge $1,500, but if most people would sell this course for that. And it helps you to build confidence in speaking, master your magnetic message, start attracting ideal clients, because we dive into how do you know who your people are, nurture your leads and through authentic conversations, which actually is more a part of the mastermind now. It's not really in the course anymore, but you get it in the mastermind. And I'm also giving you this bonus. It's an assessment that I was trained through my coach training. It's called Energy Leadership Index Assessment. This is a powerful assessment for you to know kind of, how are you showing up? What, in your energy as an entrepreneur, as a person. And so it shows you through this report of how you are showing up right now. And we start talking about perspective and energy and how you see the world and where that came from and how is it showing up in your life, and creating a lot of awareness around that so that in any moment you can be aware of how you're showing up, what's the energy you're bringing, and how that gives you choice to, okay, if you are aware of it, okay, how do I want to show up right now? And it gives you the insight into you, but then we work with that on how to help you when you're getting ready to do a sales conversation and you're nervous and you're kind of in, energy level 1. How do you shift out of that and show up powerfully and confidently? So it's a really powerful assessment. I use it with all of my one-on-one clients. Really helps you take back control so you stand in your power during stressful times. There's 2 key components that allow you to do that, and that's awareness and action. So it includes the assessment, a personalized report, and a debrief session with me one-on-one. Game changer on so many levels, for sure. I would sell that on its own for at least $597. So that's a bonus in this program. And we're also going to do a done for you speaker one sheet, a professional, stunning speaker one sheet designed just for you by our team. And that would probably cost you $200-$300. And you're going to have that to send to podcast summit hosts or conference hosts so they can see what you're all about. It's professional and beautiful, and we help you put it together. We help you to, put together the content, and then I send it off to my graphic designer. So total bonus value over $2,300. So the total value of this program comes to $14,800, but I don't sell it for that. Regularly, I would sell this for $4,997, $5,000 for a 6-month program. Very typical. Like I shared with you earlier, I paid $10,000 for a year-long program. That's very normal. And I'm not going to charge you that. So I have just started this program. It will eventually be $5,000, but right now I'm offering it as a special exclusive offer today. And it's a one-time offer for right now, because by the time I offer this again, I will be kicking it into that higher price, and probably it will be a year-long program very soon. I started it as 6 months because I wanted to get it started and see how it went. I wanted to build in the different features and try out different things, but it's coming to that point of where it will be actually a year-long program. But anyway, for now, I'm offering it for $39.97. This is really a deal. It's less than I paid for that one-on-one consultant, but I feel really good about this price. I give you a lot for this, and it's at a price where it's good for people that are, kind of in that place where I was, stuck, not knowing what to do, needing help, wanting community, wanting accountability, wanting a step-by-step system. You also get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you get to try it out for the first month. And if it's not working for you, and you're just like, no, this isn't really what I wanted, then you and I will have a conversation, because I want to make sure if there's something you needed and I'm not delivering, that maybe I can give that to you. But if you absolutely don't want it, then you want out within that 30 days, you will get your money back. I don't want to keep your money if you don't want to stay in my program. That would be pointless. So there's that. I'm also going to offer a fast action bonus, because I love it when people take action fast. So if you know this is for you, then I'm going to have Raj right now throw the link in the chat for you to register. And the way this works is today, you're not going to pay $4,000. Today, you would just pay $197. And what that does is it saves your spot. And what we will do is you will schedule a time with me, because at the end, after you register and you pay the $197, you'll get a link right after that to set up your call with me in the next 2 weeks. So we will have a conversation, and I'm going to make sure that this is the right program for you, because I'm not out to just take your money. I want to make sure you're a good fit and that this program is what you need right now and is going to help you. It doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do me any good if you come into the program and it's not a right fit and you don't get the results you want. So I want to make sure before you make the commitment. So if it's not right for you and we have that conversation, I'm going to give you back the $197 if we both decide, hey, this isn't the right fit for you. So you're really not losing any money. But the $197 helps you to make a commitment today and say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to sign up for this program, and I'm going to have the conversation with Janelle, and we're going to make sure it's right for you. And if you do that, if you're one of the first 5 people, you're going to get this fast action bonus, 3 during the 6-month time, 3 60-minute one-on-one coaching sessions with me. This is worth $1,500. So, but you have to sign up by Sunday at the end of the event, and you have to be one of the first 5 people. So that's for fast action takers. So I believe Raj has put the link in there. There you go. And jump in there, sign up. You pay your $197 today. Now, what happens with the payments after that? The total value here is over $16,000. Regular investment, $4,997 today, $3,997, one-time offer, money-back guarantee. here's the payment options. This is where I was trying to go. $197 down today. There are options of how to pay. You can make one whole payment of the balance, $3,800. That would be before we start. The new people will start on November 1st. We're going to have a special onboarding session Tuesday, November 1st, but we regularly meet on Monday. But I don't want to meet on Halloween. And the Monday before that, I'm going to be out of town next Monday. So it'll be 2 weeks from now, 1st of November, we have an onboarding session. So your first payment would need to be by then. So you pay down $197 today, and you can either pay the balance, or you can have 2 monthly payments, pay $1,900 by the 1st of November and another $1,900 by the 1st of December, or 3 monthly payments starting November 1st. Or if you need to spread it out more, it does cost you a little bit more to spread it out, but we can come up with a 6-month plan for you of $676. And there's other options available if you need to work. We can talk during our conversation. If there's another way that it works for you, then we can talk. So again, for only $197 today, you're going to mark your place, save your spot, and you're going to get in the program, customized roadmap, 12 group mentoring sessions, weekly office hours, speak up labs, 6 monthly tech training videos. You'll get the podcast guest training. You'll get the craft your signature talk training, membership in the private support group, program materials, bonuses, Speak Confidently to Sell online course, which is an amazing course, the ELI assessment and debrief, the Done For You Speaker One Sheet. And for the first 5 people who join, 3 private coaching sessions with Janelle. That is it in a nutshell right there. I also have a mentorship program, which is the next level up. And what that entails is everything I just shared with you. So the mentorship includes the Monetize Your Message Mastermind and everything in it. Plus, you get 6 more months in the mastermind. So you get a whole year in the mastermind group. And you get 24 one-on-one coaching sessions with me, one-on-one for a whole year. So you get 2 a month, plus the 2 mastermind meetings and everything else that comes with it, the office hours, the speak up labs, all the stuff I just shared with you. What's added in is another 6 months in the mastermind and one-on-one coaching with me for a year. And I'm also going to work with you to come up with your lead magnet one-on-one with you. And we're going to work together to get that created. I'm going to make sure your email nurturing sequence and funnel are all set up. We're also going to design your client journey funnel. So when I work with you one-on-one, we're going to look at what does that look like? How people come into your world? What are the programs, the steps you need in place? This was something I didn't know how to do, and it's so important. And we're going to make sure that's all in alignment with your people and with you and your passion. How do you bring them into something small, and how do you lead them along that journey? So the ones that really want to work with you at a deeper level, what does that look like? And we'll design that together. So that total value is $38,000. Regularly, it would cost $15,000. I'm charging for this year-long program only $9,997. So it's more of a $10,000 program. You definitely have payment options if you want to join in with that. You can make 1 payment, 2 payments, 3 payments. We can go on a payment plan. There are other options with the payment plan. So there's lots of things I can do. If you're interested in that depth of working with me, that is open. I can only at this point take 3 people into the mentorship program, though just my time with dealing with my dad's estate and the mastermind and everything else going on in my life. So that is limited. So if you're interested in that, just sign up for the $197 today, get on my calendar, and we will talk through which program is right for you and what payment plan would work for you. And there you go. So, phew. All right, I want to stop the share and make sure you guys are still out there. So any questions about the program that you might have for me? And I believe we are opening this up for men to join as well. So I want to make that known. Any questions? about how this program works, how it might fit in with you. All right. So if you're signing up, I'm really excited to welcome you in, all the new members. We are excited to welcome you in. There are a few people in here who are members of this program. And if you feel like sharing your experience so far, you are welcome to do that right now. If not, that's fine too. But, you know, sometimes it helps to hear from people that are going through a program what their experience is in this. So, awesomeness. Yes, Princess. And then Peggy.
It said host.
Oh, okay.
What was I going to ask? So this is only 6 months, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And the mentorship is for the 6 months also?
The mentorship goes for a year.
Mentorship goes for a year. Okay, yeah. But the mentorship is included in the 4,000?
No, the mastermind is 4,000 for 6 months. Okay. The mentorship includes a whole year of the group program plus the one-on-one with me.
Okay, and does the mentorship start after the other one?
No, it goes with it.
Okay.
So you would start getting the one-on-one coaching with me as well as join into the mastermind group. And actually,
go ahead.
The mastermind group goes for 6 months, but you have the option once you're a member to stay in for a second 6 months at a special price because you're already in the mastermind. So you can stay in for a whole year.
And you show us how to get on podcasts, like how to be prepared for them and everything. But do you actually have like associations with people with podcasts that you can say, like, do you have like a ref?
Yes, I have lots of I have a lot of podcast hosts. I'm planning on getting some of them together. I haven't been successful yet to bring them in to talk to my group and just share what they do and what they look for guests to come on. But I also have a lot of podcast hosts that I know personally. So if I know you'd be a good fit for them, I can recommend you to them. And then I use what's called Podmatch, which is a program, not a software, but a web-based program where you join. You have to pay for it, but you can put in your information and start getting matched. And so we work with that as well. I show everybody how to use that, how to find the right host to pitch to and how to pitch to them. So
thank you.
And then we also work on your interview skills. We practice it. We do mock interviews so you start to feel comfortable. And then I also have you on my podcast so that you can be on a real one and just experience what that feels like.
With someone nice and supportive.
Yes. That's what the girls say. Like, I feel comfortable coming on yours first.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Peggy.
I've been in the mastermind. I don't know how long it's been going on.
You joined in August, I think.
Yeah, so it's been one of the things that I absolutely love about it is one of the things you were talking about before, accountability. We do, when you show up all the time, there are things that you get all these wonderful tools, but they don't just sit on your computer and you never use them. You're going to go out there and you're going to do something like have a mock podcast interview and have it filmed and have people tell whether you did a good job or maybe it could use some tweaking. You're going to be creating your elevator speech, or you're going to be creating your magnetic message and working on it with a group. With the whole group. So everybody is helping you along the way to make it the best it can possibly be. And Janelle is so generous with her time to offer all of these different things. So believe me, I mean, to spend that money when I did for this group was just like a real stretch for me, but it's been worth every single cent. Plus I would have paid more.
Oh, thank you. Peggy's been amazing part of our group for sure. And it is wonderful to see the growth, you know, and you just got invited to speak on a podcast, you said, right?
Yeah, actually too.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yay. So excited. You're on your way. You're going to be an amazing guest for sure.
I hope so.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. Linda.
I will say something.
Okay.
I joined Janelle's Speak Confidently to Sell first. That came after really wrestling with myself, because when I was a younger me, I did a lot of speaking and I had developed my program. But life happened and I was divorced and just really felt sidelined. I was sidelined. That was self-imposed. I realize now, but at the same time it happened. But people started asking me, close friends, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do this? And I would say, someday.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I woke up and I had been saying things like, I don't want to die with my music inside me, and other cliche things. One day I woke up and I thought, later has arrived. I'm in my 4th quarter of life, and either I do it now or I will die with my music inside me. And I hooked up with Janelle. It was rough. It was really rough, that first class I took with her. I would not turn on the Zoom. And if the Zoom accidentally caught me, I was hiding, because I just felt so old and over the hill. And like, what did anybody want to hear from me? I had a lot of growth to do that I didn't even know I needed. I just thought, well, I've done this in the past, I'll be fine. Yeah, that didn't happen. But Janelle, what she's so good at is getting you kind of roped in by the neck and pulling you very gently, but at the same time, authoritatively, and getting you to meet your saboteurs. And as one of the gals in our mastermind says, slay your mental demons.
Yes.
Thank you, Karen. That's your quote. And so I feel like it has been invaluable. I, like Peggy, did not have the money. It was a stretch. It was scary, but it was worth every cent. And now I am at the point, I'm getting ready to fly.
Wow.
And I'm going to be making an impact on my world. I don't know what that looks like yet. It's opening up slowly so I can see some things. But one of the most exciting things for me at this moment is that my grandson, who's 21 years old, asked me, would you do one with me?
Wow.
And we have a group, just, the two of us. So we are talking. It's not going to be, that's for sure. We're both writing. He's writing on his own, I'm writing on my own, and we're going to develop some topics. And he will have a huge following. He's very gregarious and drop dead handsome. So I have to say that. Anyway, he is a doll, and he has some huge, huge dreams. And I want to be part of that. And I want to help him accomplish that. And for me, that's a really, I might even cry. That's, as I was thinking about it this morning, I don't want to die with my music inside me, but I want to transfer my music to Sean.
Wow.
Because he's going to be around a whole lot longer than I am. And I told him my goal is to help him become famous.
Wow.
So Tony Robbins, move over. Don McDonald is on the way.
Yeah.
So join Janelle's mastermind. She will get a new rope to pull you through whatever your challenges are. and she's really good at doing that. Does smile and a really nice voice, but she's not kidding. She lets you know she's boss.
You're funny. Well, just to give some context here, Linda had a rough start. She had a lot of stuff happen in her life when she first signed up for the Mastermind. She had to go help her daughter who was suffering from COVID-related illness. She had to go actually live with her for a while, and she then has been with her niece, and there's been some health problems there, and she's in a caregiver role, and it's really been rough for her. And she at one point said, "Hey, I think I better drop out. I want my money back." And I'm like, "No, I'm not letting you give up on your dream. Let's work together one-on-one until you can come back to the group, because I believe in you, and you've already made that decision to invest that." I just didn't want to see her like fall back to where she had been before. And she was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And, now she's at this place of like, yes, I'm going to fly. I'm going to spread my wings and fly. And there's so much in her that I want to see come out and that light to shine. So I didn't give up on her. No. Now, if she had insisted on her money back, but I just couldn't let go of the potential I saw. And I really knew that it was really life happening to her. Not that she didn't want to do it, but stuff was happening. So we can put it on hold and we can work one-on-one until you can come back. No problem there. So.
Okay, Janelle did give me many options. That's another one of her specialties is she will find a way to work with you, whatever your need is.
And the other thing that I loved what she was bringing out was this is a very implementation type of program. It's not the type of program where you're just going to sit and listen and take in information. You're going to put into action so that you see results and so that things start happening for you. So I do push a little bit and challenge you, like, come on, you can do this. You guys, I keep telling them, like, you are all going to be great on podcasts. Let's just do it. And now look at Peggy. She's got two lined up. So it is implementation. It is designed for you to actually get stuff done while you're learning. So hands-on there. Thanks for sharing that, you guys. I'm excited for what I've been seeing in you and excited for new people coming on. We're going to just bring you into the fold and we're going to help you as well. And it's going to be a fantastic journey.